So we've got a lot of news from a galaxy far, far away.
A lot of nudes.
A lot of news from a galaxy far, far away. Disney is getting back into the nature documentary business, apparently. And we've got RVB, and a couple of us watched Hardcore Tabletop on the First Word. All that and more on Fandom Nonsense coming up next. Anyway, you're saying about something? Aaron's name? Or...
Smugma. Ron Smugma.
Do we have to continue this?
Smug.
I thought you would have saved us from this.
Let's Smugma.
Why would I ever do that?
Hey, Ma, you want a smug? Want a smug?
Were you in the room earlier when I was telling them about the Pokemon cards are going to be sold at Detective Pikachu? The first week of theaters, like how...
Are they going to be golden?
I'm not sure.
If they're not golden, I don't
They
care.
said it's supposed to be original, like, whenever they sold the cards originally with the older movies.
Nice.
So maybe.
You know, Smugma would be a great Pokemon name.
It's Muck or Grammar
Or
Grimace.
Slugma.
Yeah.
Barney.
It's like a mixture. It would be like a magma.
I feel like there actually is a
toxic.
Slugma.
There is.
Like Magmar?
Yeah, like
Is there?
Magmar.
Yeah.
Which
Is
one
it-
is it?
He's,
Magmar?
Which one about Slugma?
Yeah.
Slugma.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
right.
we've
There
been
he
saying.
is.
Slugma.
Yeah.
Slugma.
He's a lava worm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
there's like a blue version of him.
Blue Slugma?
His evolution.
It's like,
Smegma.
okay, I was going to say, is that like an Alolan form or something? Like an ice version? Like a different...
No, I think it's just another
You say
fire
Alola?
version of it.
Yeah.
It's Aloha, isn't it?
Oh, is it a shiny? Okay. No, there's, what was it? The Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon games were the Alolan games. Yeah, there's a game that's basically based in Hawaii, and there's a bunch of different Pokemon evolutions that have, like, different Alolan forms. Like, the Vulpix is an ice type, and
It's actually really neat.
yeah, the Raichu is electric fairy, and it's really cool. A lot of
Executor is like a palm tree.
Muck is rainbow colors.
different- Yeah.
Huh. Oh,
It's
like,
a donut.
I get that. Like when oil spills.
Yeah.
Looks like a rainbow.
That's neat.
Oil.
Yeah.
Motor oil.
Mooter oil.
Motor oil. It's like a
You need some mooter oil?
that's a keystone for like a northeastern accent.
I'm thinking like having like a Snickers kind of commercial.
I was
It's
going
like,
somewhere
you feeling bad? You need some mooter oil?
I was going somewhere completely different with it. I thought it was like some kind of like fun time lubricant, some mooter oil.
Oh no.
New brand of KY jelly, mooter oil.
Motor oil.
It's for like are you a car guy, but you're not just performing the same well in bed. Try mooter oil.
Oh, I thought you were going like, do you want to fuck your car? No, you can.
That exhaust pipe just not doing it for you anymore.
Oh man.
Try new heated and stimulated mooter oil.
So I feel like I need to be cooled to counteract the heat of the exhaust pipe.
That makes
Okay,
sense. Yeah.
try
Unless you're just fucking your car when it's dead.
God.
What kind of gross person would do
Antifreeze
that?
antifreeze approved.
I just imagine somebody like just shoving up like a fleshlight into their tailpipe and then fucking.
Yeah, I mean, that's had to have happened at some
Has
point.
to. Let's
had
ask
to
Ant.
have
Let's
happened.
call Ant up and see what's up with that. Oh, okay. Thanks, Colin.
Of course.
Insider information here.
How did we get by these last few weeks without you?
Man, Top Gear has changed.
How did we segue?
We just jump right into. So everybody watched the trailer for Episode 9
Yes.
for Star Wars.
Oh my God.
Man, that flip that Ray does,
That fucking flip.
that flip was so legit.
I have so much
God.
anticipation for the exciting conclusion of that flip alone. Like that fucking sold me.
Watch it flip, not even in the movie.
So I go into more of my own personal thoughts on the trailer on an episode of Trailer Trash over on the Fandom Nonsense channel. Link in the description to go watch that. But in lieu of time, hey, gotta
Aaron,
sell.
they almost didn't notice.
Right? Would have gotten away with it if it weren't for meddling kids. In lieu of time, though, does that opening sequence seem odd to anybody else?
What do you mean?
I mean, just the framing of it, her being out there all alone without a vehicle or anybody else.
Yeah.
The way that it seems like Kylo approaches.
Is that Kylo?
It seems like it.
It seems like it. In
Everyone
a TIE infiltrator on the ground.
Right.
It
was
feels
really
very. It feels very Vision to me. It feels like there's some kind, and that's been a constant theme with Rey, and she has very strong Force vision. So I feel like there's something going on. That's not all it seems in that first scene.
What's she doing in the desert? Back in the desert. Is that... What's the name of that place?
Jakku.
Jakku.
Maybe. If it's a vision, it would make sense. If it's not a vision, why is she back there? And where is she if it's not?
And for
It's
them
all
to...
coming back to Tatooine.
I feel like it will.
Do you?
Yeah. This
wanted
is the end. Like, this isn't just the end of this trilogy. This is the end of Star Wars as we know it.
And Tatooine's been billed for at least 3 movies.
Right.
Or 4 movies, I'm sorry.
Like, that's where everything starts, really.
How many movies has Tatooine been in? Episode 1, Episode 4, Episode 6?
Episode...
Yeah, it's got one more in the books before it
2.
has to... What?
It was in episode 2. And in episode...
Was it in Episode 2?
Mm-hmm. Anakin went back there.
He did go back there and he killed a bunch of sand people.
Right.
And their children.
Yeah, and the women, too.
It's all about that.
All about killing children.
It's a real true American.
And I guess...
Oh, Annie.
Technically, could you count in episode 3? Because...
They reference it at the end.
Well, yeah, Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan
drops off Luke at the end of
Right.
episode 3, and they're on Tatooine. I don't know if you can really count that or not. But so 1,
There's
2,
a cameo appearance.
yeah, 1, 2, 4, and 6.
Maybe it's
Of it
on
actually being a main set piece.
Dantooine, a nearby planet to Tatooine. It exists.
Like his brother?
It's for real.
Yeah,
Dantooine.
yeah, it's mentioned in New Hope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leia tries to fucking get him killed. What a fucking neoliberal piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't blow up my home planet.
Well, Dantooine
The rebels you're looking for are on Dantooine. Okay. Well, I'm gonna blow up your planet instead because fuck you.
That's what you get for selling out these bastards.
Well, an ethical altruist would be like, okay, there's probably less people in Dantooine. It's probably all right if she goes for that.
The
But,
justification is that's not the place where the plans are.
Right.
The plans are on Yavin or Alderaan or wherever they are.
Hoth. Not Hoth. What's the name of that planet? It's where the fucking, the tiny people.
Nope.
What?
You're thinking of the wrong movie.
I'm thinking of the right movie.
Nope.
What movie am I thinking
You're
of?
thinking of Return of the Jedi. Yep.
By little people, you mean
Ewoks.
Nope,
yes.
nothing in Ewoks.
Jawa.
Nope, also not Jawas. That's Tatooine. They're like the not cow or not cats or dogs. Oh, what are they? They're like these weird people. You only see one of them in the original trilogy, but their entire race got killed. Their entire planet got blown up before.
Bothans.
Bothans.
And that was Return of the Jedi.
Okay, told you.
What's this? A Bothan spy?
Speaking of Return of the Jedi, I guess we should talk about the Emperor in the room.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
What, the Palpatine was laughing?
Oh, well, no, that he's going to be in it or anything.
Well, yeah.
No, we see the Death Star, though.
It's confirmed that Ian McDiarmid, Palpatine, is in this movie.
Oh, like
It
that.
honestly scared me when I first watched it. I was giving Dandelion a bath, and I just heard the evil laughing from behind me from my phone. I was turned around like,
See,
what?
Dad?
I think there's a potential for it to be a Force ghost.
Oh, at the end of, or not at the end, but in the game Battlefield 2, the most recent one that they had come out.
Yeah, Battlefront.
Battlefront, that's what I meant. Yeah. There is it's post Emperor dying,
Right.
and they have this like red suited like figure that like walks around and whatnot, and it's got a like a hologram little thing on its face, and it's Palpatine the whole time. And this game's canon.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's Palpatine giving out orders and whatnot. I think that was like his failsafe for for if he were to die.
So Sith can't come back as ghosts because they don't because they don't become one with the Force and everything, and they don't like their life force isn't preserved and everything like the Jedis are.
Okay, I thought that,
but
he might have been able to either just have like by some MacGuffin or some like plot hole that we didn't get in the other movies that he had learned at some point to do it, or like his understanding of the dark side was so compelling that it gave him insight into the light side of the Force and that kind of shit.
But it is possible, and this is like the Darth Bane thing in Clone Wars, it is possible to attach to an artifact or something, and some kind of like a holocron or something, and leave a piece of yourself attached. So it's probably something like that. Yeah. He's probably tethered to the Death Star ruins. But I'm honestly glad. Like, I definitely see the angle of, just trying to appease the fans that were pissed off and trying to get people back. And I can see that angle to it. But, assuming that Kathleen Kennedy and JJ are telling the truth, that this has been in, like, one of the key, like, founding ideas of the trilogy for a while. This was something that George Lucas had talked about for his plan for the sequel trilogy. I think it's a good thing, and I also think that we talked about this yesterday, I think it's essential for the sequels to feel like they're part of that overarching story. If the first 6 movies are all, like, of the design and architect of Palpatine, and he's the big bad that controls everything, and then he's taken out of the picture, these last 3 kind of look like epilogues in retrospect. They kind of look like they're like that story is done, and here's a little piece of what happens after. Freeze frame and text comes on the screen. After saving the galaxy and redeeming his father, Luke went off and started his own Jedi Academy until his nephew turned evil and made him really, really sad. Right. So I feel like Palpatine needs to have been pulling the strings in some way.
I think he was rocking Snoke as well.
Yeah, I think that he's like, and there's a lot of stuff. I need to read like the Aftermath and all of those books because there's a lot of stuff in that about the fall of the Empire, and a lot of the weird stuff that happens was Palpatine's contingency plan. Like, he basically, from what I understand, like, his contingency plan, if he died, was basically the slow decimation of the Empire. Like, he wanted the Empire to fall for whatever reason. He had some kind of long scheme plan that this is all kind of playing into.
That would make sense. Especially with his understanding of the rule of 2 and everything, that he would pretty much assume that it's likely that his apprentice would end up killing him.
Right.
I'll say now, like, the Sith isn't even a thing right now. Because it was the Knights of Ren, and then it was, what's his douche?
Right, but Sith has had, it's garnered a nebulous meaning, because it was originally like a race of people, and it came to mean like sort of the antithesis of the Jedi people, and they were sort of like calling upon the tradition of like.
I mean, like it's just like I feel like it's the same way with like the rules of the Jedi from Luke Skywalker's perspective. Like, Jedis are gone, Jedis are done with. Like, this is a whole new era of things. Just as like the rule of 2 probably doesn't even matter anymore. Nobody gives a shit about it except for maybe Palpatine. He's still alive.
The rule of 2 isn't a ceremonial thing.
It's a tradition.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
So because the more Sith you have, the more people who are going to be trying to ride to get the most power.
Right, and it's really explored most of all in The Last Jedi, but it's like there's what's what I'm looking for? A limited supply of energy on either side of the Force, and that's why the dark side was so powerful, because it was all concentrated always into 2 people. The Jedi have as much power, but it was spread across tens of thousands of people across the galaxy, so there wasn't as much, and that's why Luke was able to overcome, because he was the only Jedi. It's the same reason why Rey is so powerful, and why Kylo is so powerful, because they're the only people in the galaxy that have force powers, but have honed those and can fully tap into those abilities.
Which does the Rise of Skywalker? Does that refer to Kylo?
I don't think. Let's go around because I think I have the answer to this. But what does everybody think the title of the movie means?
Rise of Skywalker, I think, could mean just. There's a couple ways I think you could go with it. It could just mean like what Skywalker represented.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Skywalker's a new term for Jedi.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've thought of it.
Right. Just like
Hear that? We forgot Luke Skywalker is actually Rey's dad.
In the most recent Timothy Zahn, what's the fucking Thrawn novel? Thrawn talks about these people that were able to like walk from planets and like walk on the stars and everything, and that were called Skywalkers, and those were the original Skywalkers. And nothing happens in the Star Wars universe right now and for the last few years without a reason.
Yeah.
You know, everything, and it's all slowly starting to come to a head and make sense.
Because Luke kind of skywalked in this last.
Yeah, that's true.
Did he?
Kind of. I mean, he projected himself across.
Yeah.
Well,
lines.
yeah, okay, yeah.
And if you expand that across a legend or something, it would look like skywalking or something.
Right.
So yeah, I'm leaning towards that is kind of laying the foundation of the Jedi are done, the Sith are done, and the new future. And I don't think it's going to be like Rey starts a school and calls it the Skywalkers. I think it's going to be like people hear the legend of Luke Skywalker and the girl named Rey who followed in his path, who did these things, and just make that connection of the people who do this are Skywalkers. And just kind of like the boy with the broom and everything starts calling himself, you know,
Skywalker.
Little boy Skywalker or something, and it just kind of just becomes an honorary title.
Leia?
Yeah.
Leia probably.
Leia's gonna die.
She
Leia has to die.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like she must.
Oh yeah.
Because it would be really strange to have her alive. I mean, I could see how they could get away with it.
I just meant
if they have
her
enough
skywalking that she did at the end of the.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She actually did it. So.
Did she?
It's like sky hovering.
Right.
Just saying, it could be a
Space.
toned down version.
That's a good point, Colin. I hadn't thought about that. I've always been looking for rationalizations for that because people just cannot get over that fucking scene.
She's a Skywalker.
I mean,
I'm not mic'd, they can't hear me. So
even taking the Skywalker thing out of it though, like she's in a vacuum and she's just using force pull to pull herself to the ship.
Right.
That's it. There's really nothing there. Like
right.
It looks cool and it's played up for gravitas because it's like the most Leia's ever done force wise in the movies, but it's still like honestly it's pretty pedestrian as far as force powers go. Any other force user could have done that.
Right.
Hell, most people probably could have just pushed themselves against their own weightlessness in that situation.
Or just pulled the whole ship to themselves. That's what I imagine people
We'll
look
take
like.
the ship and push it somewhere else. That's what they should have done. That would have really helped out in that plot.
So I just watched the first season of Star Wars Resistance over the last couple of days.
Damn.
It's all right. It's like Rebels. The first season's kind of a slow burn. Definitely more of a kid show than Clone Wars or Rebels, but second half of the season really starts to pick up the story. I was under the impression that it took place like 10 years or so before The Force Awakens, but actually it takes place like concurrently with it, because in the last episode, don't want to spoil anything, but you see some First Order stormtroopers watching a live broadcast of the Starkiller base attack on the New Republic.
Oh, they live streamed that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I mean, What's cool though is
Wow.
some angry reaction. And what's cool though is the main character is from Hosnian Prime, which is the main system that they blew up. So it feels a lot more impactful than it felt in The Force Awakens, because it's kind of just like, okay, well, obviously that planet's important, but it's not important to any of the characters that we're dealing with in this movie. So I guess we're just gonna just brush that off. So it has a lot more weight to it. But that's interesting because it's like right on the end, and it's not like going back to the prequels or the original trilogy where you have that gap to play in. Like, we're at the end of the timeline with Star Wars, at least as far as we've gotten. I'm sure we'll go further beyond this, but so I'm interested to see what next season they're gonna do, because it can't go any further than, and The Last Jedi happens immediately after The Force Awakens, so that'll be an interesting way to see some parallel stories that are happening alongside of the Last Jedi and probably The Rise of Skywalker. And speaking of parallel stories, the Clone Wars trailer dropped, and ooh, am I excited!
Goddamn. Fucking Ahsoka. I never thought, when I first watched Clone Wars, I always thought she was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But she was just characterized so fucking well, and I never thought I would be so excited to see a character return to TV.
Yeah.
I really hope Darth Maul isn't the main hype point of everything with her.
So there's 3 arcs. There's the... There's the Bad Batch, which centers around a squadron of troopers that are... I mean, basically, they're defects, but instead of tossing them out, the Kaminoans experimented on them and made them into super soldiers, basically. There's Ahsoka's Journey, which is about Ahsoka going down to level 1313 on Coruscant, and she meets, I forget their names, but these 2 girls, and basically she just learns life outside of the temple and everything. And then there's the Siege of Mandalore, which is, they didn't really give too many details about that, other than that's the big climactic battle where she fights Darth Maul, and it's the last battle of the Clone Wars, and that's the one where she's about to go with Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then they get called off to go rescue Palpatine. And the Siege of Mandalore crosses up into, because it's been mentioned and referenced in books and stuff, it crosses up into Order 66.
Yeah.
So we may see a version of Order 66 in this, and get different deaths that we didn't get in Revenge of the Sith.
Goddamn.
We can see it again and watch more people die.
Yep.
Well, the same people die again.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many, we only got a handful of people in
actually
the movie.
on screen, yeah.
Yeah. So there's so many more that we can see.
Murder. Yeah.
Murder, sure.
Man. Watching Revenge of the Sith immediately after watching Clone Wars was very depressing.
Yeah, because you get so much more out of all the characters that you see get shot down and killed, and yeah.
Because movie-wise, you're like, what the fuck is Kiadamundi? I don't give a shit. But in Clone Wars, you're like, oh,
it's like, who's that guy that just got gunned down there? Watches Clone Wars.
No.
Oh. But why?
What else happened at Celebration this weekend? Oh, they went to black on the, not trailer, they showed a sizzle reel. Of The Mandalorian. But that looks really, really good.
Mandalorian.
The Disney Plus show, it's set 5 or 6 years after the Return of the Jedi, and it's about a Mandalorian guy surviving in the post-Imperial world where there's lawlessness and everything.
Is this animated?
No, it's live action.
Okay.
It's Jon Favreau's the executive producer, and Dave Filoni is directing. Taika Waititi's directing an episode.
What? It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, Marvel team, can we borrow some of you?
You said it's going to be on the Disney service?
Mm-hmm. It'll be out in November. They talked a lot about obviously having the ILM and all the cool technological stuff and everything that they have at their disposal, but something that they've brought back and I'm really excited about is they showed a little clip of them doing a miniature shot. There's like an old school like space battle that they did with miniatures and everything, like the old movies.
Yeah.
And it's super fucking cool. Like, and they showed a little teaser of that. Super nerdy, super awesome.
Man,
that's gonna be really, really good.
The culture and the characters that come out of Mandalore are always so fucking interesting. Because the little run in Clone Wars where we get what's going on with that is super cool. The Mandalorians you deal with in Knights of the Old Republic are really cool. It's just, that's where I think a lot of the like class politics, like it's a microcosm for a lot of overarching themes in Star Wars are kind of playing out on Mandalore in a lot of different places.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Particularly when it comes to like military authority and how that relates to people's ideas about class and duty and like how you should exist in a militarized state, basically. Like what is your real responsibility when you have access to high levels of military, or just like it's kind of like a genetic morality play too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a like a prototype of the Empire in Mandalore in the Clone Wars, of the very class divided and like orderly society, but orderly at the point of a gun, kind of like it's maintained order. It's not
right.
Yeah,
it's like where the line between security and occupation are being skirted, you know.
Have you watched much Rebels?
No, just what I've watched with you.
Right. You should watch more, especially I think season 3 and 4 really get more into the Mandalorians because of Sabine and her backstory and everything.
And you get more Ahsoka in Rebels as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's cool.
Yeah. You get Ahsoka, you get Darth Vader, you get Darth Maul, Obi-Wan.
You get older, wiser Ahsoka. Like, it's going to be interesting seeing, and that's something that Ashley Eckstein, who plays Ahsoka, and Dave Filoni talked a lot about in the panel, was having to go back and get into that, like, that mindset again, because we've already seen Ahsoka in Rebels, her having gone through what she goes through at the end of the Clone Wars and the 20 years in between, and the person she becomes. So, like, where we last saw her in the Clone Wars when she left the temple, and where we pick up with her in Rebels, what's that, towards the beginning of that split, what does that character look like? And that'd be really fun to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just definitely watch Rebels, and I would say watch Resistance. Watch Rebels first; it's better, but Resistance is shaping up to be good.
Oh.
What else? There's a Fallen Order trailer.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So much Star Wars.
It was Celebration this weekend. Yeah. All the Star Wars happened.
Man.
All the Star Wars.
Fallen Order. That almost sounds like Law and Order, I just realized. But bum bum.
Jedi Fallen Order. Boom boom.
Definitely gotta be something that somebody does something with.
There are two types of Force wielders in the galaxy. Those who use the light side of the Force, and those who use the dark side. These are their stories.
Okay.
Bung bung.
Seriously, on that note, though, are we going to have, like, the power to choose? Like, we have the power...
Yeah.
In the game?
Yeah.
That's always been an important facet of Star Wars games, is being able to decide what path you're on.
Right.
At least in the ones that have RPG elements.
Yeah.
In Battlefront, you're kind of playing a soldier who's
Right.
just like going along with whatever their orders are.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if
'Cause
you're
what if I want to become like an inquisitor and sell out
Right.
my friends and everything?
I feel like it's going to be more of a linear story.
I think it will be too.
I'm pretty
I
sure it's
think
going to be more of a linear story.
Yeah.
We might get a game that's essentially just like a cinematic,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, probably a lot of quick time events,
Yeah.
which I'm fine with if the story is good enough and it keeps that level of intensity.
I got
But also-
excited. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. No, I thought that this game was going to be them picking up where Visceral Games had left off. They were working on a game forever ago. There's supposed to be this big like multi-platformed world where everybody was able to pick what class they were going to be, and it was going to be like MMORPG kind of.
They did one of those with Star Wars. Yeah, the old
But
Republic.
this one was supposed to be. This one had like so much hype on it, and then EA shut down Visceral Games because they fucked them over with Dead Space 3.
Right.
I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna.
I got it, man. EA has kind of been disappointing.
Yeah, it's like I saw this meme that was just like it showed Jedi: The Fallen Order, and it showed a excited face,
And then
and then it closed in on the EA, and it's like,
Yeah, it's just there's gonna be like the game they sell, and then there's gonna be the rest of the game that you have to buy
Yeah.
once you have the game.
they made an announcement saying that that it's not gonna have any of those things in it.
No
No DLC.
Nothing,
Okay.
No loot boxes, no nothing.
no in-game purchases.
I mean, maybe DLC. DLC might happen.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
game does
that-
DLC.
Yeah, that's a
okay.
good thing. If
I'm
you-
fine with that.
If you create more content that adds on to an already
Yeah.
playable and enjoyable game,
Oh.
that's completely fine with me. But
No.
Free DLC, I'm okay with. Like
They-
if I've paid for the game, there's more things that need to come to it. That's cool. Like it's
Well,
transactions beyond the point of sale that I have a problem with.
They may do what they did with Dragon Age, the last game, where they had the ending, but the real ending was a DLC you had to buy, so you didn't get the true ending unless you paid for it.
See, that's fucking trash.
yeah, that's garbage. I don't like that. But if it's like in the first Dragon Age, where you got the whole contained story, and then the DLC was something you bought, but it
had like multiple characters
yeah.
that weren't originally in the story, or like a new
it had
area
completely
you could
just
play.
Yeah.
But then EA
was like
with
buying
the
another
second
game.
fucked it over.
yeah.
If I was gonna pay for DLC, then I would want to at least get as much of whatever the value. How do I phrase this? Value of the DLC. I want to get at least that much out of the DLC,
Right.
in comparison to the game. Like
Yeah.
if I paid 10% of what I paid for the game, I expect 10% more content added on
Right.
onto the game.
And sometimes it's like you'll get DLC that's like maybe costs $10 and will add as much gameplay as the original title,
Right.
Because they don't have to build another
Right.
like whole
Yeah.
game. They don't have to code the entire
Yeah.
like matrix of how.
They're just
it
able to take the
interacts.
stuff that they already have and work with it.
It's
Yeah.
like new skins on everything, different. Maybe add a mechanic or two, and just like you know, if it's new enough content to where it feels like they're not just cashing in on the fact that you already bought the game and you want to feel contemporary with it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these FPSs tend to do that a lot. These new battle royale games do that a lot too. But those I can forgive too a little bit because they're free to play, and it's like, how would they stay afloat
Yeah.
if they didn't have some sort of
I mean, the people that are doing fucking the Fallen Jedi or Fallen Order or whatever it's called, dun dun. Same people made Apex Legends. So I mean, and Titanfall. I love Titanfall, and Titanfall 2. The campaign and the first Titanfall didn't have a campaign.
I would like to see if they are going to go first person with it. Are they? Have we heard anything?
No,
Have we seen any gameplay trailers?
no,
Okay.
only cinematic.
Okay.
But I'm guessing it won't be first person.
I think they might. If the way they,
It's gonna be weird.
I think they could do it like Mirror's Edge if they were going to do it like that,
Yeah, but
where a lot of the controls are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would love that.
Where it's like essentially a parkour game where you have the benefit of the Force.
I feel like that
Wouldn't
would.
that be awesome?
I feel like that would miss out on a lot of the good sides of playing as a Jedi.
I mean, you'd still have force powers and everything.
Yeah, but-
it's just like you'd
But
be.
another big thing about it is like actually seeing you do those things
Yeah.
instead of just like doing it from a first person perspective. Actually watching a Jedi do Jedi stuff.
Right.
The cool part of a gun is the bullets coming out. There's a lot more cool things about a Jedi doing like force push or whatever he would be doing than just, you know, seeing it from their perspective. Getting like actually a third-person perspective would be way more
And
engaging.
fighting first person, it probably won't look half as cool.
Especially with a lightsaber. I think that'd be really clunky.
Yeah.
They might do it like in contained bits of gameplay where like between interactions or like as you interact with somebody you could like shift out of first person.
Going back and forth is clunky as fuck.
That is true.
Yeah, what EA's been doing with a lot of their games recently is like if you give, I guess, a big kill, like you're about to defeat a boss, they'll have you switch from third person into first person, or they'll have that mechanic to where you can switch in and out of it with the press of a button.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a big thing that's been happening for over the last like almost decade is like being able to switch back and forth.
Yeah,
and,
their last like major titles was all like that.
yeah.
Morrowind was the first game I remember playing like that.
Being able to switch back and forth.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you never wanted to play in third person.
Yeah.
because
See,
of
same in
fucking
Skyrim. I
broken shit.
don't understand how people want to play third person in Skyrim.
There are mods that make the combat a lot.
Yeah.
more-
So yeah, with mods completely. Yeah. And I love third person. I prefer third person on a lot of different games.
I feel that. I feel like in most combat games, I definitely
Yeah.
prefer third person. There are ones I like the first person thing for.
Mm.
If it's an open world, I always trip over rocks if I'm playing in first person because I can't see where my feet are because you can only see in front of you.
So,
Just imagine you actually getting your characters to trip.
Just imagine
No.
a lot of war in
Right.
first person.
It's just like
I've
get
I know,
definitely stumbled off
I know,
cliffs
get-
before.
Just imagine you just hearing your characters. Oh fuck!
Yeah,
Is that a Dragonborn? Shit.
so I'm gonna make everybody at
that's
this
definitely it.
everybody at this table feel super old. Well, maybe not you.
I'm only 20.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations. You share a birthday with the Phantom Menace. Well, I guess not a birthday, but yeah, 20th anniversary for the
Yeah.
Phantom Menace this year.
Yikes.
20 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Is everyone uncomfortable now?
Thank you for watching Fandom Nonsense.
I wish I could just focus on her face right now. Like,
Well, you and
Just watch it finally grow a beard and just like.
you're right. Man,
It's like that Rooster Teeth short that came out recently.
so like
yeah.
the first Star Wars movies that you saw were probably prequels, right?
I'm sure she wouldn't have been old enough to remember one until maybe the third one.
Yeah, the first one I
Right.
saw was
No,
when
that's
like
what I'm saying.
Anakin was a kid.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very, very first one.
Yeah, well, I mean, not
No.
the very first one,
No,
but the
but
first one, but not the
story-wise.
first one.
Yeah.
That is the one being discussed at the moment. Yes.
But it is the first one.
Yes.
But it's not the first one.
Right.
Le Phantom Menace.
I never remember the titles, but I know what happens.
It's the Phantom Menace, the Clone Wars, and
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones.
Right.
Like it's a whole bunch of George Clooney's.
Revengeance of the
Shits.
yeah.
Yeah, the Civets.
Revengeance of the shits. Yes.
The Revengeance of the shits.
A new pope.
We actually used to watch all the Star Wars movies every year for Christmas until I was 12.
That's weird. That's a weird tradition.
The Empire gets its
I
groove
mean,
back.
I'm not dogging you. You say the Empire gets his groove back?
Yeah. And then it's
Return of the Dead.
The Empire's new groove.
Return of the Dead guy.
The Empire's new groove.
And we'll be back in a few minutes to talk about more Disney things, but here's the Time Warner Hour on the first word. We're halfway through. Assuming that the 12 episode thing is correct, I would imagine it is. We're halfway through the Singularity. There we go. RBB.
Absolutely. Oh man, it's nice to win one. It's nice to see Caboose fuck somebody up too.
Bruh, Caboose. Oh my god, that was so good.
Oh,
He just like get out of his body. Get out. Like now. Oh, it was so good. Like, I used to sit around with his head because, it was sad, and then it reminded me that he was dead, and I get more sad. And
Which that Caboose is saying something really interesting about grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, if I can use this to hurt me with the memory of church, then I don't have to hurt myself with just thinking of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's able to compartmentalize his feelings into that specific object as opposed to just walking around with the constant feeling of dread.
Yeah.
So it's like he knows that he can never be separate from missing his dead buddy, but the way to cope with it isn't to just carry all the hurt around with him all the time. It's to find a place for it in his life. And then when somebody uses that image in a way that like tarnishes his view of what church is and how he feels about all the memories they shared and everything, he's just like, take his fucking image off. Like, you don't deserve to wear his fucking helmet.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna see him pull the helmet off of.
I really
Jenkins.
wish that had happened.
I mean, he was just a robot at that point.
Nope.
Was he not?
Mm-mm. Because Jenkins messed with the
Oh,
timeline.
and he never died.
Yeah.
He never died and stuff.
Did you catch it? We've been wondering this whole time if we're going to see or hear church, and he was there.
Yeah, he was there for like 2 seconds,
Yep.
screaming at Caboose to get him off.
Yep.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Man, seeing Caboose whipping the shit out of him, and the fact that they did they didn't do any sort of animation for it really,
Yeah.
other than and they just had him doing like the beat down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he
loved
was
it.
screaming, I couldn't tell that was Bernie.
Yeah. And
Really?
I
Yeah.
just had like a weird pitch difference,
Yeah.
and then it was gone again.
They're just like, oh, Gankins sounds different. I haven't heard what Gankins would sound like getting the shit beat out of him yet, though, so
Yeah.
I guess I should have recognized.
that was definitely the highlight of the episode for me.
Caboose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Hearing the big confusion between all of them, and Donut trying to get all their get everybody back on track.
Which Donut is so close. So close.
He did a good job.
And, yeah, but...
Oh my god, he said penis. Damn.
I kind of wish Tucker would have been like zapped back to his body then, and he would have just realized he'd given birth again and started screaming. I feel like that would have been a good comedic shot.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna show up to Tucker in, postnatal situation. But I'm kind of glad he wasn't there, because I feel like that helped them all listen to Donut.
Yeah.
Because at that point, Tucker, there's no fucking way he would have listened to anything Donut had to say.
Yeah, he's giving birth.
And sister went to debrief
Right.
him.
No, I mean just
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Right. Just like it sounded like one of her fetishes was about to come to life. And that's why she invited Doc with her. Like, I've always wanted to have sex with a man giving birth to an alien.
And
Making up
When
new
they're-
fetishes every day.
when they were talking about Doc, he was like, "He's dead."
Oh yeah, that's why he's like. That's why Doc is just like, I'm so confused. What is happening?
He's dead. I had to kill him.
So Doc really died?
I guess so.
Yeah.
When though?
The end of season 16, whenever they fought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a cool fight scene.
Yeah, super good. Them and Jinlock and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. Until this season's over and everything gets reset and we go back to probably the end of season 15 as our starting point, then yeah, I guess Doc is dead.
That's hilarious. I had to kill him. Man,
Oh, Doc. He really fucked up.
what do you think's going on with forgot her name. The
Krovos?
no.
Oh.
Huggins?
Huggins, yeah, with Huggins.
The girl.
Yep. She, at the end, she seemed to be near to a,
Giant red star.
Yeah. Red Sun Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they called? Super giants? Red
Yeah.
super giant?
Yeah. Super giant.
If that's the case, then it's possible that might turn into a black hole in the immediate future, which would be a way out of whatever
Yeah.
like space-time
She's in,
nonsense she's in.
Right. I mean, she got sucked into a
To a
black hole.
So that might make sense. If,
Right.
Like,
If that, when sends her
Yeah,
back, if we're
right.
going on like tunnel theory and everything.
if that extreme level of density and gravity would cause you like a rift in time,
Right.
space-time, then it would stand to reason that.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I was just thinking about her going back, like, if one black hole sent her to some other part of space, another one could send her back. I didn't think about the the time aspect of her like being sent back in time before.
Because I imagine like if she could have gone forward in time also, but if there is no forward in time where we are now because of this weird temporal anomaly, then
Well, I mean, she got sent before that happened, so she might just be stuck in a completely different timeline.
Yeah, she might be just being some, maybe, I don't know, maybe some like pocket universe caused by
Genkin's gun.
Yeah, maybe like a separate dimension. Either way, I love that song she was singing to keep herself happy.
I'm not gonna die.
Yeah, light is just information.
And information doesn't die.
Which makes sense, because light exists as a particle and a wave, so.
Another part of this episode that was really good was whenever they were all trying to figure out how they knew each other.
Yeah.
And Caboose was like, oh, I'm dreaming. I'm asleep.
None of you are real.
Good episode. It's been a good season.
It's been a great season.
Yeah.
You know, this is all. It was so easy for this to be off the rails. Like, one of the first things people say is a difficult thing to write about is time travel, and I really think they've
Written about it so many times as well.
I know, right? They found their niche, and they found a way to do this in a way that is coherent and doesn't steal from the plot line. It just sort of informs it.
I feel like last season was more off the rails, honestly.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
last season was really hard for me to watch.
Yeah, with the Cyclops and the actually going through history and everything, like that was the most like that they really stretched it and pulled it. But this honestly feels, as crazy as it is, more grounded in RVB and everything.
Yeah.
And even just the writing this season has felt a lot more like the jokes and everything and the dialogue feels more at home than it has the last couple seasons. But that's RVB, and we haven't watched Hardcore Tabletop, but they have, so they can talk to each other about it.
It was a good show.
And that's the first word. And welcome back. Thank you for watching the first word. Tune in to the Fandom Nonsense channel Thursday, probably, to watch the full episode. But let's get into the other trailer that dropped this week from the Walt Disney Monopoly.
Lion King.
I try not to be biased. I try to have an open mind about these live-action movies that I have a predisposition to hate. Oh, they're not making it easy. They're just not making it easy.
Rafiki looks nice.
Rafiki looks great.
Yeah.
I hope there's a lot more Rafiki in this version of the movie than there is in the original, because he's the only character that I felt any kind of emotional connection to throughout that whole trailer.
Did he even have a line in this movie? Or in the trailer?
No,
I
it was
think
just
so.
Mufasa and Scar.
He does the thing on the wall.
Yeah.
He's painting it.
No, he's putting the fur around Simba's head.
Right.
See, I love baby animals, so I just want to see baby animals.
Love animals.
Just can't wait to watch Simba rub on his dead father in high definition.
I just can't wait to watch that blank stare on his face when Scar tells him that he killed his dad.
Yeah, is there going to be any emotion in it?
No.
It's just going to be kind of like...
Oh, why not just
Run.
shoot a bunch of footage of real animals?
Right?
Run.
Why not just make a nature documentary?
Now
They
you
put
see
peanut butter in their mouths.
the evil brother lion has put his claws into Mufasa, and now, he's dropping him off into the stampede.
That sounded more like a really soft voiced boxing.
Oh, right, Cross.
So...
They're so realistic, it makes me uncomfortable that they're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Like, their mouth shouldn't be moving, is what I think.
Also, some of the animation seems off.
yeah.
I think the animation, as far as like the technicality and everything of it, looks fantastic. I'm not
all
going
of
to.
the textures look amazing.
Yeah, I'm not going to say
Some nice
anything bad
textures.
about it as far as like the technical prowess of the movie. It's the ability to connect emotionally with a lion's face without having any kind of like humanizing features like eyebrows or expressions or something.
I get you. I totally get you.
Yeah, I don't like the way Scar looks.
I really don't like the way
I
Scar
hate
looks.
the way Scar looks.
Yeah.
And his voice.
There's nothing
Yeah.
menacing about him other than that he has a scar in his face, which
Right.
which on an actual lion kind of makes them more sympathetic.
Yeah.
Whereas on a cartoon lion, it kind of makes you obvious that he's the villain.
Yeah.
Speaking of making Scar sympathetic, it feels like they're really leaning into the whole born into poverty kind of thing. Like you're born into your class, and the conflict with that making Scar seem a lot more. He seems a lot more sympathetic in this version.
Yeah, you kind of see him like crawling out of the dust with the hyenas.
Right.
Like,
You know, the change on that opening line of, you know, life's not fair. Others spend their lives begging for scraps.
Right.
Or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Seems a lot more like focused on that whole power struggle and class conflict that was with the hyenas and everything in the first one, which is interesting, but it's also like, God damn you, Disney! Why are you painting the underclass hero as the bad guy and the fascistic monarchy as the good guys?
Yeah, Mufasa kind of gives this spiel about how some people it's easy to control, but like a good ruler. Most people are considered with what they can take.
Right.
A good ruler
It's
is
concerned
trying
with what it can give.
yeah. And-
Except to the hyenas.
right.
Because they're second-class citizens.
Basically.
And they belong on the other side of the wall.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Right. Speaking of Mufasa-lini, so we mentioned before about, I can't think of the guy's name that's playing Scar.
Jeremy Irons. Or no.
Not Jeremy Irons.
Not
and
Jeremy Irons.
That does not sound good and sounds like he should be honestly, he sounds like he should be narrating the Lion King nature documentary that's coming out this July. But honestly, I don't like it, but I'm okay with that. Honestly, what I have a problem with is Mufasa. I do not like Mufasa's voice.
James Earl Jones?
I know that it's James Earl Jones, but it's James Earl Jones 25 years later.
It does sound like he's lacking the bass in his voice now.
It's Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, it's Scar.
It's the guy from Doctor Strange. Played guy that used like the Rod of Eternity or whatever it was called. Or
Yeah.
this dude.
Okay.
Oh.
He was like a good guy, and at the end of Doctor Strange, he was a bad guy.
Right.
You know, like the whole thing with Scar and Mufasa in the original is, you know, that Scar can't take Mufasa in a physical confrontation. Scar knows that, so Scar has to outsmart him and use his wits and
Poison him in the ear.
and get the throne that way. But this Mufasa, like, he sounds respectful and authoritative and everything, but there's this age in his voice that makes it feel like, I don't know, like a Scar could just come up and slit his throat when he just passes out at 3 o'clock watching Wheel of Fortune.
This is a geriatric
That's how this movie's
Mufasa.
gonna be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have TVs.
Just see Mufasa kicking it up on the couch.
God.
And
And fucking Scar comes, turns off the TV. Brother!
Just lean into the Macbeth thing. That's what I want to see. Just reenact Macbeth with animal heads on.
And speaking of Macbeth, why? And I know, like, it's a reference to the original, but why are Timon and Pumbaa singing? Like,
Right.
it's it's a 90s reference that makes sense. Like, it's only relevant because of the original Lion King.
Right.
Like, that's the only, like, back then, it's in all kinds of movies because it's a contemporary reference. But now, it's not contemporary. No one knows that song. No
Wait,
one
which
sings
song? Hakuna Matata?
No, In the Jungle.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, why do that? That's...
It's a direct callback to the movie. I mean,
Yeah, but why are Timon and Pumbaa specifically
oh,
singing it?
Well,
because
yeah.
it's not the same movie.
Right, but
I figured they just didn't want to use Hakuna Matata, that song, in there.
No, but they do both in the original Lion King. Like,
Right.
they sing Hakuna Matata, and then, like, whenever it's right before they meet Nala.
Because it's shot for shot now.
Yeah, but, like, it's only a reference to the movie that you should be trying to distance yourself from and not paint too many parallels to and be like, by the way, here's the better version of this movie over here. You should go watch.
man, if you like this nature documentary,
You'll love this animated feature. The Lion King, 1994?
94, yeah. And let's see.
Are you the Lion King?
We've talked about Aladdin.
You blatantly
Hasn't
disobeyed me.
anything really new about Aladdin come out. There's a Lady and the Tramp remake
Ah,
What?
that's coming out.
live action.
What?
Yeah, that one's going to Disney Plus. It's not going to theaters, and it's a live action talking dog movie.
oh, like an actual.
Yeah, like
Oh,
actual.
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hopefully it's like, what's it, Homeward Bound?
yeah. See, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
That's what they should have done fucking this movie too.
Yeah.
Done it like Homeward Bound.
Get that peanut butter in them mouths. That's my word. Yeah, that's how they got them to like look. They were talking.
Did they talk like that in Homeward Bound?
Yeah, the first Lassie actually had a terrible peanut allergy, but they discovered it all too late.
Nolan, is that true?
No.
It turns out little Timmy wasn't the only thing in the well.
I'm sorry. I would have kept that ruse going, but like the
Yeah, the
sincerity of what you asked me.
you
Like, no,
you
I can't-
hurt her
I have
just
to,
then.
have to save you from this reality in which.
You're gonna have to apologize at least 3 times on the way home.
No, like personally, I grew up on Disney talking dog movies like Homeward Bound 1 and 2, The Shaggy Dog.
Was that the Tim Allen movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That wasn't out till we were like older.
like 12.
Yeah, that's older.
That's not older.
Man, I didn't watch Homeward Bound until last year before.
What?
Really?
Yep, never seen it before. I actively avoided that movie
There's
Why?
multiple Homeward Bounds.
because dog movies are sad.
That one's not.
It's-
Shadow,
Yeah, yeah.
Shadow,
Right.
my dude.
Okay,
That's the one with Michael J. Fox, right? Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plays
Okay.
Chance.
Yeah. Nah, dude, Shadow. God, just go on without me. Just like
Okay, you're right.
Fine in the end.
I can
Yeah.
handle watching people die all the time. Fine, easy, cool, whatever. Watching a dog get into like Marley and Me, I'll never watch it. I'll never watch it unless I cut it off at just like them at the park and there's like this nice little scene of them walking away or something. I'll just like go in, edit it, fade to black, boom.
That movie's
I'm
just
also like super
exploitation.
curious as to what happens at the end of it, but I'll never watch
Nope, nope, don't give a shit. Not
it.
worth.
Don't say a
You,
thing.
I will hit you. I will strike you.
You
I don't
know-
want to
you
talk
know
about
what
dog. I don't
happens.
want to talk about
You
dog.
know what happens, so.
Man, did you know that there's this website?
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Where it's a website where you can like look up movies about animals or dogs specifically, and if they die in the movie, it'll tell you that you shouldn't watch it.
Oh man, none of those fucks are watching John Wick.
See, John Wick's like the one movie that I'm like, okay,
Because the dog's in there for like 5 seconds.
yeah. I mean, not just that, but the people who killed him get a reckoning.
Ooh, they do.
They sure do.
Ooh, they do.
Yeah, I mean, who are you gonna kill?
Do they get a
Check out
reckoning? They do.
Isn't there a third John Wick coming out?
Oh yeah.
Is it already out?
No,
Okay.
it looks good though.
3,
The Wickening.
The Wickening, The Return of Jafar.
No. Duping people left and right on this podcast.
I actually got upset.
I know. Oh my God. You're like 2 seconds from crying.
John Wick 3, The Return of Jafar.
Thank you for coming in on this fandom nonsense.
It's been a roller coaster.
It's been a yeah.
Yep. I hope you stayed conscious.
Make sure to, if you haven't already, go watch the first Rumble here on the Indie Carnival channel. We got another one coming up on Friday.
It's a real slobber knocker.
It is.
Slob on your knocker.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No,
Right
Lynn.
in the camera.
Sorry, that didn't.
Why is it necessary?
It wasn't. It just slipped out. It just slobbed out. I'm sorry.
Tune in every Friday for Nolan to slob on your knocker on the Royal Rumble.
Why?
Yeah, donate $1 every month and fucking.
I'll slob
Yeah.
all over
we'll
your
slobber
knock
your
knock.
knocker.
I'll knock on your slobber.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's like a term for
words.
punching, like punching somebody in the face.
Yeah,
Knock on your slobber because like the mouth is yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the
what
part
it is.
where I apologize for our lack of content. Pretty much this whole year.
Hasn't been much of a slobber knocker.
Yeah, we haven't been much of a slobber knocker of
Yeah,
the
but-
channel, and I do apologize and thank you guys for sticking out and everything.
There's a lot of other shit in the works. It's not
Yeah.
like we're just sitting on our thumbs. It's it's a lot of work to be done.
Hopefully soon we'll be bringing back Life on the Bone Farm over on the Bone Farm channel. So go and subscribe there. There's some videos from Be Good Elliot's most recent show up there. You guys should watch. They did a great job.
They have 3 frontmen.
Yeah,
4. One of them's behind a drum set though.
Right. And go to the Fandom Nonsense channel. Like, subscribe. First Word will be out later on this week. You can watch a couple episodes of Trailer Trash. I'm talking about The Lion King and The Rise of Skywalker, and any other things that might be coming up in the next week or so. But until next time, thank you guys for stopping by. Have a wonderful week, and goodbye.